Hi and good evening, and welcome to Thfc Till I Die, your home of Tottenham past, present, and an exciting future as you watch us on this Cockeral Clock podcast.
Got it right that time.
Yeah, very good. What a week at Spurs. New signings, people going, and really reflection at a busy week, which we've never seen at Tottenham before in a while. And we're going to go through all the news. We're going to talk about Mbappé's transfer fee. Has football gone mad? Harry Kane, will he sign a new contract? And then we're going to end off the non-football bit at the end. Conspiracy theories, are they as crazy as people think? Well, Philip, how are you? I would love to do a whole show on conspiracy theories. I think
this could be the pilot for it. You never know. It could work out well. Yeah,
it could be.
Lots of them out there.
Yeah, how are you this evening? And
good. Yeah,
podcast.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, indeed. There's a lot to talk about, and for once, we're looking at positivity at Tottenham, which is something that's been sorely lacking in recent weeks or months. So, yeah, the only way is up.
That is it, Philip. That is certainly it. So, look, we're going to start on a little bit of breaking news. There is some going around that Hoiberg is to be offloaded to Madrid. Now, how do you feel about that, Philip? Do you feel it's a good move for Hoiberg? He's got 2 years left in his contract, and really, I'm a massive Hoiberg fan. I don't want him to go, but do you think it's time for him to go?
I don't think it's time for him to go, but it could be that he Ange Postecoglou doesn't feel that he can fit into his system comfortably, and maybe for that reason alone, he's allowing him to move on and further his career elsewhere. I don't particularly think it's a great move by Spurs. I think Hoiberg he's been the Duracell bunny of our team for the last couple of years. He's played nearly every game, and he's a reliable. Okay, he's had his odd bad game, as they all have, but he's a guy you can rely on. He's the sort of fellow you go to war with. You'd like to have him beside you in the trenches. Yeah. And I think it won't be particularly positive if he goes. But, who are we to know? There could be other reasons going on in the back we don't know about.
We don't know. But anyway, let's see who's in the chat early on. We've got Hodgod 10, good evening, everyone. We've got Paul Connor, good evening, all. We've got Drula, good evening, all. Evening, all. We've got Just the Girl Who Loves Spurs. Kate, good evening, Kate. She says, good evening, gents. Hope the funeral went okay, Philip.
Yeah, it was fine. It was just we had to go and visit the house, to pay our respects. So, yeah.
Big up to FTSN Colin. Good evening, gents. And Andrew Gregory as well. Evening, Dermot and Philip. Hope the funeral went okay, Philip, and I'm sure it did. Now, Philip, what I want to start on is, look, well, let's get this out of the way first. We do have a signed Emerson shirt to give away. Now, we won't be doing anything within this podcast, so we'll bring it back for the debate show tomorrow night. So on these podcasts, we seem to try to leave things out of it like that. But let's do that. So we'll do that on our next show. But I want to start on this one, Philip, because has football gone mad? Because if you read what was, I mean, that was the Harry Kane story, but this is it. I mean, Real Madrid are reportedly gathering funds. They are 300 million, Philip, 250 million up front, with a 50 million on add-ons. Yeah. Now, has football gone completely bonkers off its tree?
It's ridiculous. It's crazy. I mean, this is only going to have a knock-on effect. You're going to have the situation now where agents with average to reasonably good players worth 50 million, 40 to 50 million, are now going to be saying, well, if Mbappe is worth 250, 300 million, my boy's worth 70. It's going to push the price of transfer market up through the roof. A lot of teams aren't going to be able to afford it. And only tonight, as I was saying to you there a few minutes ago, Dermot, I mean, I can imagine if I was a Seville fan watching that tonight, I would be absolutely ripping. The entire Sevilla squad is up for sale because of debts of 92 million. Now, take that. That's less than a third of what Real Madrid are going to pay for Mbappe. And their entire squad now may not have a future because of all this, or an uncertain future. So football has gone totally bonkers. Now, I'm sure the same thing was said back in 1962 when Dennis Law went for 115,000 at the time.
Yeah.
That must have seemed crazy. But this is crazy, but multiplied by 10. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I've got a list here. I am going to share this now. This goes all the way back to 1968. So I'm going to try to share this, Philip, and I hope people will be able to see it. It's on Transfer Market. It's like the history of all transfers. So I don't know if I can get rid of that anyway. But Pedro Jaro was 900,000. Then in July the 1st, 68, Helmut Heller, a second striker, went to Juventus for £3 million. Euro.
What year was that? What year did Heller go?
1968.
68. That was a lot of money. 3 million.
Yeah.
Jeez, that was huge money in 68.
These are, so we've got Diego Maradona, attacking midfielder, 81, went from Boca Juniors, a loan fee for 3.8 million, and then he was sold then from Boca Juniors to Barcelona for 7.3 million.
Yeah.
And then they sold him again to Napoli for 12 million. So that was a record for a player at the time. Roberto Baggio went to Juventus, 12.9 million. Gianluca Vialli, who's no longer with us, 16.5 million. Alan Shearer went to Newcastle for 18 million. And it just goes up and up until we get to here. Zinedine Zidane went to Real Madrid for 77.5 million. Cristiano Ronaldo went to Real Madrid for 94 million. Gareth Bale went to Real Madrid in 2013 for 101 million.
Yeah.
105 million for Paul Pogba. And then Neymar is 222 million.
Yeah. So we're jumping up by 25% to bring it up to 300.
Yeah,
madness.
It's where will football go broke? Do you think? Does this bubble have to break for it to calm down? Because we showed it earlier, Philip. Where is it now? We showed it earlier with British transfers.
Yeah, but they're only buttons compared to some of those figures you mentioned. You know, like I mean what's going on? Spain have been going through, like what's happening with Seville is probably happening at several other clubs in Spain at the minute. And for them to sit back and see the government backed, more or less, royal family backed Real Madrid lashing out money like that must be absolutely sickening. Okay, I know it's bringing a great player to the country, but it's also bringing a player with an ego the size of Madrid, bigger than the city, and a guy that wants to run everything. He really wants to pick the team on the Saturday. So I think they're buying into trouble there. Ask Pochettino what he thinks of Mbappe at Real Madrid or at PSG, and I'd say he start banging his head off the wall.
Yeah. I'll get to your comment in a minute, Paul. DJ Green, he says asthmatic and long COVID, not a great combo. Know what it's like. Suffer with No, it's not. I suffered with early stages of COPD, and I had COVID, so I know what it's like to have. Like, I still can't smell anything. I, my breathing does go up the creek. So I know this. Though as much Derval does tell me, I'm very stubborn. So Derval knows when my breathing goes for I need to take a nebulizer, and I know I'm grand, but she's always right. So I know how you feel on that. So I hope you're feeling better, DJ Green. It's great to see you in. Paul Connor, I know inflation has gone mad, but that's got to be utterly crazy bid for a player that's got a year left in his contract.
Absolutely ridiculous. Now, the only thing they may well do, they may well get maybe 100 million of that price back by selling on Vinicius Jr. Because you can rest assured there's not room for those two guys in the same team. They'll be getting into each other's space the whole time. Yeah. So maybe that's what they've got in mind. Maybe they'll sell him to PSG as kind of a swap, But it's still mad, absolutely mad. And I don't see how Spanish football can survive.
No, I don't think it can. Just very quickly, DJ Green, and that said, women are usually right when it comes to health. Blokes are usually clues.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, absolutely. We are. Yeah,
absolutely. To put our hands up to that, all right.
Yeah, to be fair. Look, you look at Italian football as well, Philip. The Premier League seems to be getting bigger and bigger every year with transfer fees, and it seems to be getting more money spent. More money spent for every summer window, every winter window. Now, is that because of Sky and the money that it's brought into the game, or is it mostly football has evolved into what it is now?
No, I think a lot of it's been caused by the huge mega bucks that Sky put into the game, and also because the Premiership has also become such a worldwide phenomenon, if you like. I mean, it's watched in practically every civilized country in the world, and a few not so civilized. So it's probably earning big bucks from the TV companies over there, like the likes of Bein Sport in Abu Dhabi. They're probably paying a fortune to somebody to broadcast the Premiership games. As are Peacock in America, NBC, all these different companies. So there's money. It's not only Sky money; it's all TV money generally coming in from everywhere. It's absolutely racking up the points here, and but it's going to come to. It's all good things are going to come to an end. With the TV revolution now, a lot of people aren't watching stuff on their TVs, watching it on their phones and their iPads and stuff like that. If that TV money disappeared, football will go down quicker than a burst balloon because the money would just not be there to sustain the wages.
Yeah,
and every club will be affected. So it's great when it's there at the minute, but if it ever went belly up, then the small clubs would be the first to go because they would obviously have the least reserves to fall back on. But none of the big clubs would be immune from it either. And I hope that day doesn't come. But unless these transfer fees become a bit more realistic, then the writing will be on the wall at some stage.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's 300 million, Philip. I mean, people thought when Chara Francis went to Forest for $1 million.
Oh, I thought
that was mad.
That was the world come to an end. It was madness,
and then
crazy.
A couple of years later, Brian Robson went for $1.5 million from West Bromwich Albion to Manchester United. So it's been there. But look, we will touch on this again, Philip. We'll probably do a show in this actually just on this subject because it's worth looking into. But anyway, your reflections are reflections, Philip, on a busy week at Spurs. And firstly, look, I'm going to have to give credit to Daniel Levy here because the way he's gotten these two deals over the line as quickly as he did, Philip, is you have to say fair play to him. You can't say nothing else. But,
I mean, it's, we'll all jump on his back when he does something wrong or we think he's done something wrong. And quite rightly so. I mean, nobody's above criticism like that. But when he does something right, like he's done this week, you have to put your hand up and say, well done, Daniel Levy. Because we're not a week into the transfer market. We've got our goalkeeper. We've got our creative midfielder. And we're probably on the verge of getting our centre-backs as well. Yeah. We've also got and look at what he's done as well. Kulusevski, he got $5 million knocked off the asking price from Juventus. Yeah. He didn't rise to the bait that Brentford were looking for David Raya, $40 million. No. We instead got the Venom, as he's called in Italy. We got him for under $20 million. And now we've got James Maddison for $40 million, when Arsenal are paying 105 million for Declan Rice and Man United paying 60 million for Mason Mount, neither of which are as good a player as Maddison. So well done, Daniel Levy. We'll probably be criticising you next week for not bringing in centre-backs quick enough, but as it stands now, well done.
Well, the centre-backs things now, the latest I've got on that, Philip, is, I can give you that now, is, where is it now? Well, at the moment, I'm being, or something's coming to me, so I'll give the update on that in a minute. Look, we're after Sober, we're after Nelson as well, and the Zola of Galatasaray.
Zaniola.
Getting the Deadwood out is going to be more important as getting players in, Philip. So how do we get the Deadwood out? Is it a case of going down to cancelling contracts? Is it a case of, like Dyer said, he wants to stay for another year, fight for his place? How do we get rid of the Deadwood?
I think a lot will become evident after tomorrow when Ange Postecoglou officially takes the reign at Tottenham. Now, I did read. Okay, I've read that story about Eric Dyer wants to stay and fight for his place, but there's also a story going around tonight that some side in Saudi Arabia is watching the Eric Dyer situation closely. So it's possible. Like, I'm sure if Eric Dyer you see the money that's been on offer, and N'Golo Kante's getting 30 million a year for a contract in Saudi Arabia. I'm sure if Eric Dyer was offered 5 million a year, he'd take it.
I can give you a bit of an update. The centre backs have stalled at the moment, Philip, due to Spurs needing to offload some players before they go all in for Mickey and Tapsoba.
That means getting rid of the likes of Dyer. Okay, it doesn't look like we're going to go back for Longley. He looks like he's a dead duck at this stage.
Kate saying Galatasaray are open to taking a couple of players in the Nelson and Zanola deal.
Well, that'd be good. Yeah, that would be excellent. But the problem is that they probably want to take Christian Romero and Heung-min Son or someone like that. You know, they need to take someone that we don't want. You know, let's face it, the Turkish league is not of the standard of the Premiership, so some of our boys might do well down there.
Yeah, might do. Paul Connor says, "What do you think of capping transfers fees to stop crazy bids like this?" I think the horse has bolted the barn, hasn't it?
I think it's a bit. I don't know how you would enforce that. You know, it'd be very, very difficult because you can be sure if there was a salary, a transfer fee cap was put on things, the agents would take approximately 5 minutes to find a way around it.
And he also says, Philip, do you think he's going this fast to get the squad in before pre-season so all the Deadwood can be left behind to sell?
Well,
I think that's true, actually.
Yeah, the non-international players are all back in tomorrow, and the international players are back in on the 10th. So, I mean, I think what he might want to do, he might want to have a look at these guys tomorrow and see who look in their eyes and see do they mean business, you know, and then he can see he won't be long sorting out. Well, we all know who has to go, but let him make his own decision, and he won't be long doing that.
Yeah. Drew is saying that the Saudis are keeping an eye on Dyer, and as soon as she sent me that, Philip, it's actually I got that confirmed. The Saudis will come in for Eric Dyer.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's one offer. That's one off our thing. Probably the most. Okay, the two most, as you say, players that have caused the most problems for Spurs. One of them wasn't even at the club last season. Is Harry Winks. He looks like he's going to Leicester, and Eric Dyer. Who goes? I think if that happened, that would be a big start. Start.
If Winks goes to Leicester, that means we've got Maddison ready for 30 million.
True. Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah. Kate, no Longley deal won't happen.
We don't think that'll happen.
No,
I don't think it will.
No, I'm hearing it might do. I'm hearing it's been put on the burner for it. It hasn't been.
Do you know what I'd say? I'd say what it is. Longley is probably the first reserve. If we don't get the other ones that we're looking for, to go back in for him.
Paul saying our squad is collapsed during one full-on training minutes. Would love to see the players after the first training session. Because tomorrow, of course, is Ange's first day with his new training team. But he doesn't necessarily bring his guys with him. These are fellas he hasn't worked with before, so not all of them anyway. So that will be very interesting. You know, I'd love to see the video the club put out tomorrow of the training session. So keep an eye out for ambulances at the side of the pitch. I'm just 90. I am 99 sure of that. Look, hey, your sources tell you that, then you stand by what's in us. I'm hearing something slightly different, but look, we'll see what happens. I've just got the latest actually on it. Longley is second reserve if deal falls true. First backup option would be Harry Maguire.
Yeah. I think Spurs already told United they don't want Maguire.
Well,
yeah,
that's the
I
latest.
think I'd rather Longley than Maguire. At least we know what Longley can do.
Same here. And look, we're looking at improving the squad, and Longley's a sideways step, so I don't think it will happen. I'm a Longley fan. I thought he'd done well for when he was with us.
I'm not against him.
I'm not.
Okay, I think there may be better options out there, but he can do a job for us,
We've got Andrew Gogi said Andrew was at Lord's watching.
Yeah, he was. Cheering on the Aussies.
Hot God 10 Spurs are supposedly looking for a sporting director. Maybe it will happen not long after Munn, who also starts officially tomorrow as well. Can't come soon enough.
Yeah, but I think Munn is going to do an awful lot of the duties of the sport.
I think so.
Listen, we still have a football director, really. Think about it. We still have Paratici working in the background, so he's still there.
Yeah. And look, and Colin saying, for what I know, Spurs rejected the deal because of the price.
Which deal was that now?
I don't know. I think the Longley deal. I thought signed a 3-year contract.
No, he didn't. He was on loan for 18 months. Or a season or 18 months.
The latest I've got, PHILLIP, he's been offered a 3-year deal. It's been put on the back burner until we get our other options in. He's actually.
Why are they offering him a contract if he's not 30? They shouldn't offer him a contract until the other options have been exhausted.
That's what I've just been told.
Oh no, I'm only saying. It sounds strange offering a contract to a player you don't really want.
I don't agree with. I'm sorry, Jim. I don't actually agree with Longley. It's a step backwards. He's not. I was very impressed with him when he partnered Romero in the Palace game, where he kept Romero very calm. And it noticeably, when he went off with an injury, Eric Dyer came in and Palace nearly scored. So, look, everyone's got the different opinions. And look, I understand that. But, for me, I think he's a good player. I think he's been... We did a player profile on him at the start of last season when he come to us, and I would trust Romero. He majority, I know. Well, right, we'll move on. We'll move on for that, PHILLIP.
Right, the goalkeeper.
I'll be honest with you, PHILLIP. I know. I stand by what we get, by the person I get. I really
let's leave Longley to one side. Longley is not our major issue at the minute.
No, I mean in general, because we always try.
Okay, we know. Yeah, we stand by our sources,
Yeah.
But again, people are entitled to their opinion. We're not disagreeing with you. We're not disagreeing with you. We're just putting our own point of view over it, And I think what I saw going through there earlier, that comment about the fee, it was about Tapsoba.
Yeah,
Levy is stalling on the fee. So I hope to God, again, this could be tied to what you're saying about having to offload players. Just doesn't want to commit until we get rid of some of the players. So this is Ange tomorrow. Could be very interesting now to see who he's going to put the dreaded tap on the shoulder to. You're not staying, lads. You're gone. Yeah.
Look, we I think Scott Munn starts tomorrow, which is an important day as well as Ange starting, PHILLIP. Where do you think Scott Munn can take us now? What do you think his job is? Because
Scott's when he's taken over the director of football, not director of football, but footballing activities from Daniel Levy. Now, if he can keep Daniel Levy as far away from the transfer market, okay, I know Daniel's done well this week, right? But Scott Munn can relieve him of those duties. Like, he's not going to be directly involved with the team, as far as I can see. No. It's going to be a lot more with the administration of the club. And let's face it, he obviously comes highly recommended. And like everyone else, it says he's starting tomorrow. You can be sure he started already.
Yeah.
They're not going to hang around. But tomorrow really is the first day of the rest of our lives for Tottenham, because this is a huge day tomorrow. We're getting a new management team in. We're getting two of our new players are going to be there. with more to come, and hopefully the Deadwood is going to get the dreaded tap on the shoulder tomorrow.
Yeah, Jim says, if we want to move forward, players like Longley, Dyer, and Perisic have to go. We need better players. Well, look, Perisic is on big money, so the likes of Dyer have got a year left in their contract. Get rid of him, cancel his contract. That's fine. Look, you're going to need backup players. There's no point shooting yourselves in the foot. For me, Perisic and Longley, I agree with Perisic. He probably does need to go because his assists were brilliant, but he couldn't defend. For me, Longley's there as a backup, and he'd be a good backup to have. He's dependable. He's very good at the ball coming out of the back. With the ball, he's very comfortable with the ball, which Dyer and Sanchez and they're not. So, do we need to have competent backups to the main 11?
Absolutely.
Do you think Longley falls into that?
Yeah, I do. I think Eric Dyer doesn't, but Longley I think does. You know, you don't get playing for Barcelona without being a half decent footballer. No. Let's face it. You know. And I think that he will be. He's not my first choice to come back, but if he comes back, like every player, I'd back him. And I don't think he deserves some of the criticism that he gets. Like, if you look at it this way, mostly last season, our defense was crap in general.
Yeah,
you know. So let's onwards and upwards. Let's forget about what happened last year. Let's move on.
Nobody escapes ridicule for last season. Even Romero made mistakes.
No, they deserve it. They deserve it. They're absolutely brutal. To let in 63 goals in a 38-game season is criminal. We were down amongst the relegation team. In fact, the teams got relegated, let in less goals, I think, or close to it anyway. So no, it's I said tomorrow is the first day of the rest of our seasons. Let's be positive. Let's be positive.
I just want to say big up to Carl Simpson as well. Big up to Daniel Field, who's comes in. Big up to the disabled team as well. And who else has just popped in? No, that's who's just popped in. So big up. Look, where did I see it now? Big up, Jim. Yeah, cannot wait for tomorrow in Andrew Trust. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that. Philip, so what do you think is his first job tomorrow, Ange, on his to-do list? I know we're going to have a debate tomorrow night. Are we all ready for the Ange revolution? What do you think do you think he's already planned out? What do you think he's feeling tonight? He's probably
he's nervous. He's nervous. I'd say he's got the players. He'll be in at 7:00 in the morning with his new coaching staff to give them the rundown on what's to happen. The players will probably come in, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he had a 1-to-1 with several of those players and told them whether they were part of his plans for the season or not. That's why I think we'll hear tomorrow. There could be a few disappointed first team players tomorrow that are going to be told they do not feature to find new clubs. And it'll be interesting to see who those players are. Okay, we're not going to have Harry Kane back tomorrow. We're not going to have any of the international players back. But what we are going to have, is players like Jed Spence and Destiny Udogie, who have basically come into the club. It's really for the first time when you think about it, you know. And I'm hoping that he's going to put his arm around those guys. Listen, you're going to form part of my plans. We need to get these young players on board with his methods. Yeah. And as I said, the old guys who have been through this all before, the likes of Eric Dyer and Sanchez and all that, they're the ones that I think need to be worried. I think they're the ones that are going to be told that they don't have a place at Tottenham this season. And as for cancelling contracts, cancelling a contract is a two-way street. You can't just cancel it. You have to have the agreement with the person that's in it. And whether players might, what's the better option? Tear up your contract and go and find a new club for yourself, or sit on the bench at Tottenham and get no game time. That's the decision they have to make.
Yeah. We got football. Said I would sell Romero as well. I'm not being unfair. Look, Romero for me is a good defender, but he's a bit hot-headed. But if he was a defender in the 70s and 80s, that would have been his time to play football. You know what I mean? Yeah. But look, would you sell Romero if the right price came in?
No. If Romero has got the right type of colleague behind him at the back, there's a hell of a player in there. We know that already, but he just needs that little bit of guidance and someone to put it, just calm him down a bit. And if that happens, fair enough. I wouldn't sell him. No.
Yeah. he has an advantage knowing that the Asian market like no other Prem manager, and he does. Ange, he rarely does. DJ Gill's back tomorrow as well.
He will
Carl
be,
Simpson. Ange is going to stroll into training ground, tell these players what he wants for Spurs, and say fresh start.
Yeah. But he has to tell some of these players they don't feature. That has to be done quickly. You cannot have that festering. They need to know now.
Yeah. Kate saying Destiny's agent. Now, I read this yesterday that Destiny's agent's looking at him to go back to Serie A because of the change of manager and formation. I mean, that's the biggest load of rubbish.
That's rubbish. That's completely the opposite of what I read. The club rang him and told him he was part of the deal this season. You know, I think that's just an agent looking to get a few more bob from the loan fee.
It is. Fat Cop Pete says heard that, and Atlanta want Tatanga. I've heard that as well. So
fair enough. He could be another one. He could be another one that could be on the road. You know.
Okay, Philip, can you just read a few of my comments? Sorry, just give me a few minutes.
We could sell Eric Dyer to the under 21s. He might get some more game time. Well, that's true. He might. This is interesting too. Pedro Porro actually signs for us tomorrow. I think there's a fee of about 30 million to be paid for him, you know. So he's another player that I think that will be good for us. He's starting to come into his own at the end of last season, and he's really, really good going forward. I just hope that he's as good defensively as he is going forward. And Carl's saying, I think these players have already been told, if I'm honest, very possible. Like we all know that, well, officially he starts tomorrow, but you can be sure Ange has had talks with some of these players already. So it's possible that they do know that their future is at Tottenham or not at Tottenham. Okay, were we talking about Dyer? Right. I think probably were talking about Dyer, all right. And John Nealis is saying he will use soft aggression to get his point across. Yeah. He'll not be giving them a Glasgow kiss anyway, that's for sure.
Look, for me, Dyer, Sanchez, Davis, Winks is going to Leicester, we think. I think the quicker he gets out to Deadwood, the better for me, Philip, and we will see where it goes. But look, tomorrow's a massive day. Tomorrow's a massive day in Tottenham Hotspur's history. So we'll have to wait and see. What are you hoping for this season?
Well, first of all, I want to see Tottenham playing football that we can recognise as being Tottenham. Not some hybrid defensively, let other teams come at us for 85 minutes, hit them on the break type football. That is bullshit. I want to see Spurs going at players, quick passing, midfield, dominating the ball, getting it up to the forwards quickly. None of this 15 passes between the centre-backs to get over the halfway line that we have seen so much of in the last couple of seasons. I want to see that. We want our Tottenham back, basically. I think we've got the guy that can do it. Now that we've got Maddison in, I watched a video of Maddison's highlights today, and I'll tell you one thing. We're going to score a lot of goals from free kicks this season. That guy can hit a free kick.
Yeah, he can. Wendy Parker, big up, Wendy. I haven't seen you in the chat before, but thank you for coming in. And it's great, Philip, seeing more ladies coming into the show now.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah. It's been one of the things we for a long time it was just all men. It's great to see the women coming in, Spurs fans as well, and I love seeing it because it gives a bit of a different balance to the show. Because Ellie does her breakfast show as well, and Mia comes in, so it's great. We try to balance it out on this channel, equal on this channel. So we do try our best. She's saying, what's the general thought regarding Parrott in Ireland? For me, I think Parrott has missed the boat. Yeah. I don't think Parrott's gonna. I don't think Troy Parrott now is gonna be anything more than what he is now, and that's sad because he had the talent and he had the talent to go to the very top of the game, and he basically wasted it, and it's very sad though.
I think Troy Parrott got injured there in October. I think playing for Preston. He was at Preston. He was at loan the season before as well. In that where was he at loan? Was it Orient? He was in loan anyway. He's his second big loan now. He's never really pulled any trees up. No. He's come on for Ireland, scored a couple of goals for us. But I honestly think Troy Parrott will be sold this summer. I think he'll probably go to a top, one of the top championship sides. Yeah, and that's his level at the moment. Now, he will get better. There's no doubt about it. But he's 21 years of age.
Yeah.
And this what you call him, Ferguson guy, Evan Ferguson, who's only 18, has gone a streak past him. That's regarding for the Irish job anyway, for the Irish team. And Evan Ferguson is where Troy Parrott should have been, but isn't.
Yeah, but can I just point out that Troy Parrott rang with the wrong crowd for a
Oh yeah, I was going to bring that up as well. Yes,
the Troy Parrott thing. Then people realise
he got involved with a crowd of not the actual gangsters, but the family of the gangsters in Dublin here.
Yeah,
and it didn't go down well, and he took his eye off the ball, and now look what it's cost him. You know.
Yeah. He actually got injured celebrating the goal. That's how he got injured.
That's right. Yeah. I think it was the only goal he scored, so he probably had every right to celebrate.
I understand what Deidre needs. I said wasted it, injuries. That's what I was about to say, Philip. But no, he did wrong with the wrong crowd here in Ireland.
Now, in all fairness to that, he has now disassociated himself with that.
He has now. No, I have to say he has. But you look at the likes of probably Dean Scarlett as well.
Dean Scarlett,
and
Ferguson he will be kept. Dean Scarlett will be kept.
And Evan Ferguson, I mean, he is where Parrott should be.
Yeah.
And
right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Philip, can you just run off to the last couple of comments there from after that one, because I'm getting some breaking news here, so I just want to read it and get my head around it.
This is one about from Kate. What the frig is going to happen to Dele Alli? Well, as DJ Green says, he's now back at Everton, and I don't know what's going to happen there. He has to play 20 games for Everton, and when he does that, we get 10 million. So you can be sure Everton will sell him after 19 and a half games. They won't want us to pay anymore. And football and boxing is saying exactly the same. He's back at Everton, 10 more games to play. They've got to pay us. I think Dyche will try one more time with him. I hope to God, I hope Ali does well. I hope he does. You know, another guy, a bit like Troy Parrott, he got him mixed up with, other things dominate his thinking over football, became more important than football. And he is, I hope he does well, but more for the reason that we get money from the transfer, you know?
Yeah.
And DJ Green is saying, I knew nothing about the wrong crowd scenarios. You probably wouldn't. It's something we knew about over here in Ireland, you know? So what's the news, Dermot?
Well, the breaking news, it is sort of breaking news, is Ange has planned the rest of his window out. He has a list of 9 names that are no longer he wants at Spurs. So there's 9 players now. So you could say Dombele, Dyer, Sanchez.
Yeah. Most
Ben
of the
Davis
players
would
as
be
well.
on that list. I don't know. Who else could you put on that list, Philip?
Lo Celso.
Yeah.
And Dombele, Winks, Parrott.
Yeah.
But Davies, probably, Dyer,
Sanchez.
Pierre Hoiberg, if truth be told, possibly.
See, that's a hard one for me.
It looks like it could be heading that way, you know. So that's 8 or 9 of them.
Well,
so.
Why would you sell Hoiberg if Bentacle's not out to after Christmas?
That's the thing. That I wouldn't. But I'm just wondering. He probably claimed that he's got Skip and Basuma in there.
Yeah,
our midfield is going to be different next season. It's not going to be so defensively based.
No, he can play Basuma. He played Basuma as a defensive midfielder and play Skip and Sarr in the middle.
Well, then again, if he's going to play Maddison might play just in front of those 3.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what sort of formula or what sort of format he's going to play up in it.
But that have no let's play. He's also looking
Regulon. That's another one. Sorry, Regulon. That's another one that we got.
I keep him, Philip.
So would I, but he's not. Apparently, Ange doesn't fancy him from what I've been reading. So
he's also looking at the future. He's keeping tabs on Brighton's Evan Ferguson to take the torch from Harry Kane, and that's very.
He's going to cost it. I know he's only 18, but they're going to look for about 50 million for him.
Yeah.
He's not worth it. I mean, I've seen Evan Ferguson play for Ireland, and to be honest with you, I'm not convinced yet. There is a player in there, but it's a bit. It hasn't come out yet. It will come out. It will.
Yeah, go on, Philip. Sorry.
No, go on. I just feel to saddle that guy with a £50 million move now could be the ruination of him. Let him have another couple of seasons at Brighton, then move in for him.
Yeah. DG Gain says Lo Celso. Kate says Perisic.
Yeah.
A lot of players primed for swap deals. Sanchez. Hoiberg has to go. And look, I love Hoiberg. For me, look, he's the only one for me, Philip, that even when we went to see the AC Milan game, though none of the players played well that night, he was
So
the
they
only
still haven't
one.
turned up for that match 3-4 months later.
But Hoiberg, don't forget, Hoiberg has been, as you call him, the Duracell Bunny.
Yeah,
He played 46 out of 49 games last season. Nobody can keep up momentum or keep up, consistent.
You're not human if you do it. You need a
No.
break. You know, you need a break.
Yeah, Reggie was on the plane coming back today. Big up, Drula. Can't watch him for another season. If Athletic come in for Hoiberg, then it'll be me money towards other players. Yeah. Spurs have got another centre midfield lined up if Hoiberg goes. Would you keep Saga on?
No. I think we were at the Wolves. Do you remember we were at the Wolves game? And Sessegnon was taken off after 22 minutes. Everybody felt so sorry for the lad. I thought that was the end of it. Now, he did come back after that and got us helped to get us into Europe. But I think there are too many players in that position, around that position. So I can see him possibly being used as a make weight if we're going to go for Harvey Barnes.
I think so.
They might try and use him.
That's true. Kate's not convinced by Sarr yet. Look, give the lad a chance.
Give him time. There's a good player in there. Good player.
Who's Alex Scott? I've seen DJ Green.
Bristol City. He's in the Madison mold. So now we've got Madison, and maybe we don't need Scott. 25 million would buy him.
Yeah. We've got Carl says his link with Leicester, maybe including, as Philip says, discussion if we want Barnes.
Possibly.
We've got Kate saying we're monitoring 19-year-old striker. We are from Sheffield United. That I have heard. Apparently says he's a workhorse.
Is he a goal scorer? It'd be more like it.
Carl's a bit like me. Personally, I would never sell Hoiberg over Skip. Skip is overrated. And look, for me, Hoiberg's not everyone's cup of tea, Philip.
Oh, I know that.
I always go back to that Southampton game in the tunnel when he was telling the defenders, this is going to happen. And you could see him ranting at them. And his reaction after we conceded that goal after 20 seconds away to Southampton, his reaction was he put his arms up in the air. Look, I feel that he was... I feel that, he has had bad games. He's had games where he hasn't played well, but nor has the other teams, nor has the other players in the team. But I feel he's been he's been our most consistent midfielder. When him and Bentancur played together, they had a great partnership in the middle of that park. Him and Skippy, not really. And I do agree with Carl. I think Skip either needs to go out on loan or he needs to be sold, because I don't think Skippy's now getting to the point now. I don't think anyone's going to agree with me on this, but I feel personally that Skip's come to a point where it's either going to kick on or he's come to his limit. And I think Skip's come to his limit. But as I said, I don't think anyone's going to agree with me on that. But that's just my own.
I don't know. Skip's best season recently was the year he went out on loan to Norwich. He virtually got Norwich promoted. He was a player of the year. We thought when we got him back, this is going to be great. Now, but again, I put it down to the system we're playing. Maybe the new system will suit him. Maybe the new system will suit him.
Yeah. Paul says Alan Scott with a great understudy for Madison in case he picks up an injury.
Yeah, he's big in demand, that Scott fella, though.
Supporter as well.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I never know.
Sorry, Dermot. Hoiberg was the workhorse. You're grand. I like Hoiberg very much, but I don't think he would fit into Ange's style of play.
That's the worry.
Yeah, that is right. But if Ange is going to play with a defensive midfielder, Hoiberg is the best one for that, because I will say one thing for Hoiberg, his passing range, Philip, is something unreal. How many passes? Did you see that pass he did for Kane last season one time? 70-yard pass straight down the middle, just totally into Kane's feet, and Kane scored.
But I think what we need in central midfield, though, Dermot, is a player that can do that sort of pass every game, or every other game, not once in the season. That was a great pass, but did he do it often enough after that? No. Probably, and I actually think Hoiberg is a better player playing slightly more forward. That's where Denmark play him. He's more of an attacking midfielder. But listen, we'll see what happens again. A lot we can sort of prophesize what's going to happen, but it'll
Yeah.
all become available over the next couple of weeks, and we see them in action. What way we're going to play this midfield?
Yeah, it is. And look, we just have to see what happens, Philip. Look where we're going now. Very quickly on Harry Kane. Will he sign a new contract now? This is the $100 billion question. Will he sign a new contract? Now we've this week we've heard he's going, he's staying, he's signing, he's not signing, he's going to Munich. His wife, who's very heavily pregnant, doesn't want to go to live in Munich. Is Harry Kane being boxed into a corner where he's going to have to sign his contract, or is it's other people around him, and it's going not Harry just wants to do is stay at Spurs and play football, but is it the other people around him that are making all these noises that they're the ones that are looking for him to move, not Harry Kane?
We know it's the brother is Charlie Kane, his agent, smells money, sees money in this for him. If Harry goes to Bayern or Munich or wherever he wants to go, Charlie Kane gets a big fat paycheck. Yeah. But then again, the same thing's going to happen if he signs a new contract at Tottenham. He's going to get a big fat paycheck out of that anyway. So, I just don't know. I think Harry's family circumstances may have more of a bearing on this than we're giving it credit for. Yeah. As you said there, his wife is heavily pregnant. He's building a house near London. And if that's the case, he's a home. I've heard in the past that he doesn't want to go abroad, or maybe she doesn't want to go abroad. But I just wish somebody would come out and say, Harry Kane is staying at Tottenham, end of story, no more speculation. Yeah. Or Harry Kane is leaving and he'll be gone by the end of the month and the next month, whatever. Then we can plan for the future. At the moment, and let's face it, this saga is running as long as Coronation Street. Now, I think we're all a little bit fed up with it at this stage.
Can I say, I did say earlier his wage was the new contract was $400K a week. And Carl's just backed up that it says Harry Kane will sign a new contract. It's true his wife doesn't want to leave England, and the wage offer is $400K. Now, I did say that earlier, and everyone said I was talking out of my hat.
No, we'd heard 300 though. We didn't say it was the figure. Like, to be honest with you, he's on 200 at the minute. So the double his wages shows Spurs' intent. That's true. I'm not doubting it. Yeah. That shows Spurs' intent. They really want to keep him.
Yeah, but Philip, I did say earlier it was 400. Everyone said I was talking out of my hat. So
no, I didn't say it. I heard 300, but I mean, I'm open. There's so many figures been bandied about for all these various players and everything. It doesn't surprise me. It shows Spurs' intent, but Spurs have to make that move to him for right. There's a contract. Are you going to sign it? Then Harry Kane has to say yes or no. So the ball is in his court very much now.
Paul. I think Conor will be off the captaincy. I hope not. Bomber contract.
He will be. He will be. Can you imagine, David? Look at the scenario, right? Hugo Lloris is gone. Harry Kane is vice captain. They give Harry Kane $400K a week and offer the captaincy to someone else. Not going to happen. No way.
Yeah, but Harry Kane's not a captain, Philip.
It doesn't matter. Neither was Hugo Lloris. Yeah, think about it. Hugo Lloris wasn't the captain either. You cannot keep Harry Kane at the club on $400K a week and give the captaincy to someone else. Absolutely shooting yourself in the foot doing that.
Yeah. Well, look,
whether it's good at it or not, I'm only speaking fact. That's the only way it's going to be.
I'm just putting it out there. So look, Kate said, can't see Levy paying that $350. Well, look, that's what I'm hearing. And I've watched him on YouTube, Carl Simpson. He looked very impressive. Kane would stay 100%. 24. They're talking about Sheffield United player. Carl Simpson, Levy is throwing everything here, and it could be up to $400K for bonuses.
Yeah, could be. Yeah,
and
it could be $300K basic, $300K basic. And
what I heard was what I heard was it was a 2-year contract to take him to 2027. No,
2025.
No, 2027. The contract runs up to.
That's 4 years. 4
years on a $400K a week contract.
That's actually quite a lot of money. Look at us. Yeah.
For me, I don't think he's not a vocal captain. He leads by example.
But Dermot, he's captain of his country. You cannot bring him in and that sort of money and put somebody else as captain. Whether we like him or not, he is going to be the Tottenham captain if he's there next season. There's no doubt about that.
Gary Lineker was captain for England. He was never captain for Tottenham.
Doesn't matter. Harry Kane has been vice captain, has been captain anytime. Every game last season after Hugo Lloris cried off, he was captain.
Yeah,
so
but
you're not going to bring it. You're not going to bring.
For me, a captain should be a central defender or a central midfielder.
Well, I quite agree with you, but in this situation, it's going to be Harry Kane. That's it.
Just because it's Harry Kane, I think they should give the captaincy to the player who's going to use it most effectively, not just because he's Harry Kane.
But Dermot, no, what you're saying to Harry Kane, Harry, I want you to stay. I want to give you all this money, but you're not going to be captain. You know what he's going to say? Fuck off, I'm going. He won't stay at Tottenham unless he's captain. He won't, no doubt. I mean, I think what do people think in the chat there? He's captain of England, right? But we don't think he's good enough to be captain of Tottenham. He's not vocal enough. You know, how do we know? We don't. We can't. We haven't got microphones on the pitch. We don't know what he says on the pitch. You know. So I think Harry Kane is the only person that can be captain. We want to keep Harry Kane. He's captain. That's it.
Yeah. Well, look. We all know he is, but I don't agree with it, and that's just.
Well, you know, to me, Dermot, you're kind of saying you half don't want him at the club because if he won't be at the club unless he's captain.
Philip, so that's to put words in my mouth. Look,
no, I'm only saying you sound like you're saying that. I didn't say you're saying it. You sound like you're saying it.
Yeah, but Philip, I'm not. All I'm saying is a captain should be a central defender or a central midfielder. Captains that
do you not realize in this situation it has to be Harry Kane to keep him at the club?
Yeah,
well, you're probably right. You're probably right. But in the circumstance and the political thing of he has to be captain.
The point I'm trying to make is successful captains, you've never... All right, Dino Zoff was an example. He was captain of Italy to win the World Cup in 82. You look at any other... Brian Robson, captain Man United, was a midfielder. You look at captains who have had the Spurs over the years.
True.
Were
they ever in the situation of they wanted to leave the club or those other clubs looking for them to leave on huge money? And you're being offered a huge new contract, and part of the deal is to stay as captain. You know.
Yeah. Look. I just think. Look. I want Kane to
move on from Harry Kane because I think
I want to get my point out, Philip, because I haven't looked for that. I want Kane to stay, but I just think there's probably a better player in that team to be captain. Kane will let his talk and do. He's captain here. How he's captain, he lets his talk and he lets his football do the talking. He scores goals. I get what you're saying, but for me, it's a midfielder or defender. But we'll move on.
But I'm not disagreeing with. In normal circumstances, I would say yes. But these are not normal circumstances, and that is why Harry Kane will be captain next season, to keep him at the club. That's one of the reasons for keeping him at the club. You know. Anyway, move on. Let's move on to something else.
Yeah. This is going to be a bit of fun.
Oh, Jesus. Right.
Right.
Okay. You first.
Right. Wendy Parker says, who's your vice captain, Philip?
Right. That's a tricky one because it depends really who's going to be in the left in the team next season, right? I think I would put, if Bentancur was fit, I'd add him as vice captain straight away, right? Midfield player can watch to where it's going from. Other than that, it's very hard to think of one. I mean, it's horrible to say that, but we don't have that many leaders in that team.
Would you put
Hoiberg, if he stays, will be an ideal candidate.
Look, I always said Hoiberg for captain, and that was important. But would you put Bentancur as a vice captain?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bentancur is the one I go for. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah. I once went to school with Kermit from the Muppets. Wait, is that sort of a conspiracy?
Yeah, I think we all went to school with a few Muppets.
Yeah, I think I am still. No, I was going to go that road. Maddison for vice captain. Kane for England has 100% respect and loyalty for more players and management. I'm not saying that. I just think your captain should be somebody else in the middle. Right. Conspiracy theory, Philip. Now, we had a few today. We had the moon landing. We had the pyramids. We had... Mia said to me, are aliens living amongst us? Is Daniel Levy an alien from the planet Zod?
No, they're all living they're living around Woolwich. They all support Arsenal.
I think I want to start on your favourite subject, your favourite person in the whole wide world, right. Mr. Donald Trump.
Okay, first of all, can I say at the outset, I have absolutely no affiliations to any political party. I've got an interest in politics, but I don't follow any party. I'm not assigned to any party. But I've taken a special interest in Mr. Donald Trump because from the time he was elected president in 2016, I've been scratching my head to know how the hell did seemingly intelligent people vote that fella into power. And I'm going to jump forward to 2020, right? During the election campaign of that year, Trump kept putting this thing out that the voting was going to be rigged, and wasn't going to accept the result of the election if he got beaten, right? So he was beaten. So suddenly he doesn't accept the result of the election, and starts all these conspiracy theories that there was aliens nearly coming out from outer space to fix the voting machines and all this. He put out 60 court cases to try and get the result of the election overturned. He lost every one of them. No, in fact, he won one of them, I think, out of 60. Right? He had a fella called Rudy Giuliani. Do you remember Rudy Giuliani, who was mayor of New York the time of 9/11, and was an absolutely brilliant guy, great mayor of New York, brilliantly, did a great job. He then tied himself to the Donald Trump conspiracy theory campaign, has now been disbarred from practicing as a lawyer in New York, and is going to lose his license completely soon because he went on along with Donald Trump. So my conspiracy theory is that when an election is not fixed, please don't go along 2.5 years later and saying it's been fixed. Now, I could go on for hours on this. But basically, Donald Trump is possibly going to jail because of what he did on 6th of January when he tried to have the election stolen from Joe Biden. And there's so many people in America that still believe he won the election. I was watching a video today. One fella, he reckons that Donald Trump is still the president. That it's a clone of Joe Biden that's doing it from the White House, and that Trump is really still running the country. You know, unbelievable.
See, I've even put you on full screen there, Philip.
Yeah, no. Listen, I could go on for hours. Just to say, listen again. I'm not knocking. If there's any Trump fans on there, I apologize. There are some very, very decent Donald Trump fans, but there are some complete idiots who still think everything that man says is true, when in fact he lied over 3,000 times to the American people during the time he was in power. So I rest my story.
Yeah, Donald Trump is like Scooby-Doo. He gets caught by those pesky kids, then goes over and pulls the Trump mask off, and it's Bush underneath.
Well, I don't know. Yesterday, did you see the book that's coming out about him yesterday? About him fancying his daughter. I mean, that's sick stuff. That is really sick stuff.
Well, I'm not even going down that route.
Yeah,
I'm ready. Right, I'm going to go down the route, Philip, of the moon landing. Right now, look. There's a lot of people, and also I had a laugh. Somebody said earlier about is Elvis alive? Well, that's another big one. But the biggest one I'm going for, right, is Arsenal getting this relegated back in the 1980s after the First World War. Now that has gone on for years. What Arsenal did to Spurs.
Yeah. That's why we hate them so much as well, you know.
Yeah, it is, and also there's Lasagna Gate as well. Another conspiracy theory that it was the West Ham that dodgy cooked. It was Arsenal that paid the chefs to dodgy cook the food.
Yeah.
So, if you could pick one conspiracy theory, Philip, out of football, what would it be?
I think. Well, this wasn't a conspiracy theory. This actually happened, you know. But I think probably the Lasagna Gate one in recent history for us, because that cost us European Champions League, and it meant Arsenal jumped ahead of us and got into the Champions League. But the reason that I can think there's a conspiracy thing, there is David Dean, the Arsenal chairman or whoever he was at the time, right? Was on the FA Council. We asked him to be put back 24 hours because of the sickness, and he refused.
Yeah.
Now, he had a vested interest in that. He should not have been allowed to.
No.
So it's another incident, of Arsenal fouling up our season. The 1919 thing was bad, but I tell you that was shocking. It really was.
Boris Johnson is Donald Trump's love child.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me. They're well matched now, the two of them, I have to say.
Apparently, Kate said Jim met George Bush at the White House.
Who said?
Jim met.
Right. Oh, very good. With George Bush Senior or Junior?
Jim said Joe Biden did a speech last week, and at the end he said, "God save the Queen."
Yeah. Well, I said Joe Biden. I mean, he's probably too old for the job. But just look at the figures he's getting for the economy in America at the moment. He's doing a reasonably good job, and no one gives him any credit for it.
Yeah, Carl Simpson says the moon landing never happened. It really happened at Boxing Regis Beach.
No, it was down in Cockeral Beach in Wexford, Dermot.
Yeah.
Kate
says 9/11 is dodgy.
No, don't think. I think there's a few too much. Actually, do you know what Donald Trump said after 9/11? He came out and said, "Well, my building's the tallest building in New York now." Such a thing to say after a disaster like that,
Look,
you know.
I heard one thing after that, Philip. Around where the World Trade Center was, right, there was loads of buildings behind it and everything, right? The only building, the FBI people were told to leave their building 3 hours before the first plane hit.
Yeah.
Told to evacuate the whole building.
Possibly, yeah. They might not know what the target was, though. It was that area. They might have gone to that area.
Nobody knew what was going to happen, Philip. But the only plane that flew out of American airspace was the Bin Laden family. That was the only plane that flew out.
I think that is a conspiracy theory, Dermot. I don't think that's ever actually been physically proved. You know, I don't think so. Because every plane in the air was grounded after that.
Yeah.
There wasn't a plane flying over America for a couple of days after that, you know.
Colin says, my conspiracy theory is that Man City haven't broken arteries.
Yeah.
We're actually going to talk about that tomorrow, actually. What we're debating tomorrow, buddy. Debate tomorrow, Philip. It's about Ange, isn't it? And are we ready for the revolution?
Yeah. Absolutely. And we'll probably see a few videos coming through tomorrow of the first training session.
Yeah.
So we get stuff to talk. See which players are there for a start. Who's not there? You know?
We've got Paul Brown
George
says,
Bush
but
Jr.
of course,
Good man,
yeah. Of course, Elvis is alive and well. Sure, isn't he living on a farm in Wexford?
Yeah, just living down the road from Dermot.
Yeah, he's living down the road from you, Philip. A plane hit the Twin Tower. The building doesn't implode. The way it's proved. It actually was proven why the buildings collapsed. It's because of the structure.
The steel structure inside.
It was something in the steel, wasn't it? That it wasn't prepared properly. It wasn't put together. That when they built the World Trade Centers, it wasn't built properly.
It basically melted. It melted.
It did.
Collapsed.
It shouldn't have melted.
Mm-hmm.
It should have. DJ, I reckon. Charlie was,
that's been mentioned quite a bit as well.
I've always said that. I've always said that.
If it wasn't him directly, there was somebody orchestrated that. That was too much of a coincidence. You know?
Carl saying Dermot's not really an island. He's behind his flag is a portal from his spaceship. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jim saying, "Oh my God, Philip, what a dick!" Trump saying that.
Yeah.
That's my thing. It's a stupid thing to say. I know it's a dodgy subject, but why was it only 2 passports that were? Do you want to read that one out, Philip? Sorry.
I know it's a dodgy subject. Why was it only 2 passports that were Muslim survived the wreckage? Yeah, well, that's true. You know, that's true. That's true. You wouldn't know.
There were shooters in the grassy knoll who killed JFK. Which is 2 more shooters than Spurs.
Yeah. Oh dear.
But there was a second shot, wasn't there?
I reckon there was a second shot. Yeah. There was.
Hoggoss saying climate change is the biggest conspiracy theory this side.
No, I don't think so. Don't think so. There's too much evidence that it's causing havoc with the weather at the moment.
Aussie 12 said, if you believe in magical umbrellas passports, then you believe official 9/11.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough.
Cool. Just so I know, if you still want me on, that's it. What?
Oh yeah, tomorrow night. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, definitely. They were. Hang on, I'm already behind. Ellie, hello lads. How come you're on the other side? Is this the new look?
Yeah, we switched wings.
Dermot, apparently I'm an alien.
All right, okay. Yeah. How's things in the planet Zog anyway?
Yeah, it's doing grand. Yeah, we're in the planet. Yeah, feel fine. Yeah. This guy works down the chip shop, swears he's Elvis. That's from
Kirsty McCall. Yeah.
Myth. Kirsty McCall. Thank you, hon. Music brain box beside me. Elvis is alive. He's just changed his name to Philip.
Oh, shucks, my secret's out.
You look well for your age. You've lost an awful lot of weight. Last saw you in 77.
Oh, no.
The Yanks can't build towers. No, they can. They really can.
Well, they're not bad at it, actually. Most of them stay up too.
Remember that old Smash advert? Oh yeah. The
Yes,
aliens.
yes, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. That's gone back a bit.
Yeah. Remember the old Smash ad peeled them with metal knives? Do you think our disguises have got better?
Slightly.
Philip looks all shook up.
Oh God, here we go again.
I didn't say anything.
I know you didn't. I know.
And we've got I swore Osman bin Laden once in my town. He was driving off car.
God. Yes.
Yeah. We'll leave that there. I didn't think. Oh, Ellie's got a conspiracy. Okay, Ellie, put in what's your conspiracy theory, and then we will end it off there. To you guys in the chat, what's the famous line from E.T.?
Phone home.
Phone home. Yeah. Paul saying, Philip, you're wearing blue suede shoes.
No, definitely not.
The biggest Ford Levy chairman of mighty Spurs.
Well, we'll see how long that lasts.
Climate change is real, a natural cycle. Earth warms, Earth cools. There's no doom and gloom. If we're all underwater, no one will be investing.
Well, just if you look at the Antarctic, the ice caps are melting, and something causing that,
Stuart Wheeler says the biggest conspiracy of the 21st century was that J.A. Macon of Vegetarian Pacific was the world's most dangerous terrorist.
Right. Who's J.A.?
Oh,
Don't forget that one.
No, you're wrong. He never said phone home. He said home phone.
All right, fair enough.
Jam. There we go.
Jam. Right.
Jam. If I had a gnome, I would call it Futu. Fu.
Food.
I get it.
I don't.
Well, listen, we're going to end off there on this podcast, episode number 15. I think it's 16. Listen, thanks for everyone to come in. Thanks for Kate. Please get everyone to Kate's channel as well. Hit a like button. Hit a subscription button there as well for her. She is on tomorrow night with us as well. And Ellie's conspiracy theories is how to spell Thierry incorrectly. Thierry Henry is a conspiracy against Spurs because he came to Woolwich and conquered the git.
Well, we don't like Thierry Henry here either for obvious reasons. Apart from playing for Arsenal, but the handball in Paris in 2009, I think is what we don't like him for.
I'm still gonna say Maradona's first goal was legitimate. He came off his head, it didn't hit his hand.
No, I don't think. I would love to agree with you there, but I can't. It was a goal.
I do say that.
It wasn't a goal. It was a handball.
I tell you, what we are going to do a show. I want to revisit that Maradona Pele debate. I rarely do because I think we've done it before. But if Ellie knows, Ellie was with me. We're going to invite a few people on and have. She says, aside from that stupid comment. I say that with tongue in cheek. I always say that. She said, "Great show." Is So Campbell the conspiracy theory? I think So Campbell is something else.
His own imagination.
Yeah. She said you're definitely a Martian. I am.
Yeah,
I am.
that's it.
And Chris says the biggest conspiracy theory is Daniel Levy saying he supports Tottenham.
All right. Okay.
So there you go. Well, listen, we're going to end it there.
Right, end it there, folks.
We are back tomorrow at 9. Is it 8 or 9 we're on tomorrow, Philip?
9.
It is the big debate. Are we ready for Ange's revolution? I am. No, Philip is. I hope you are too. But thank you for watching tonight. And can I just say personally, thank you to everyone who likes and supports our streams. The numbers have been mental the last month or so. So thank you from us.
Great.
And we hope we'll try to always do good content for you and make it even better.
I keep hitting the like button.
Yeah, hitting the like button. I mean, we've got 50 likes for the last show we did today. And look, we'll always bring you the best content we can. So thank you so much indeed for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. whatever you do, come on, you Spurs. In Ange, we trust. And then
we said it again. Tomorrow.
Oh, sorry. One more thing. He's got to take an out. He didn't get an out earlier. This will be Eric Dyer when he sees Ange walking through the door tomorrow. And on that bombshell.